Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a beautiful Friday evening here at Ray Fisher Stadium. I'm Kendall Spencer. Sydney,
Hi,
introduce yourself.
I'm Sydney Cyprian.
And we've got a great one here for you. We've got a big rivalry game tonight. So your Michigan Wolverines take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Wolverines coming off a big win over Toledo. Sydney, what would you like to tell me about that?
Yeah, Mac Timbrook hit single in the 8th inning, giving UM the final lead in a 6-4 win against Toledo. We also had some pretty big hitters from Cole Caruso and Will Rogers on the offensive side. Both of them had 2 hits on that day, and Caruso scoring twice and Rogers bringing home 2 runs as well. Chase Allen pitched 5 innings and allowed just 7 base runners while striking out 4, and Jacob Denner earned the win after 2.2 scoreless innings and 3 strikeouts to close the game. So pretty good game for Michigan there against Toledo. Yeah.
Wolverines looking to carry that momentum here into a big rivalry weekend. As we mentioned, they're playing the Ohio State Buckeyes. So we had a chance to do a little interview earlier. Would you like to tell us more about that and what information we found out about this series against Ohio State?
Yes, we got the pleasure to interview Josh Fagley. He's in his 2nd year with Michigan, and he's a first year as an assistant coach. He spent 12 seasons in professional baseball, so especially in the MLB, it's kind of really cool to get an experience to ask him a couple of questions about the game right before we get into it. My personal question was, is there a different approach to playing a large rival school versus another opponent? Because I know Michigan versus Ohio is such a big rival, so I didn't know if there was a change in mental status or anything regarding that. And so he said that he himself has played in a conference like this before, and it's like every game is like playing a rival school. There's no big difference, but with their young team being a lot of freshmen and sophomores, the rivalry is pretty fresh, so they don't really have the opportunity yet to feel what it's like to play a team like Ohio State. But he says it doesn't matter who we play our brand of baseball. And so he said, I also asked him if there was any added pressure, and he was like, there is, because it's the meat of the conference and it's in the 5th series, so the timing definitely adds a lot of pressure, but we love where we are in the standings, and that's right, Michigan's pretty good right now in the Big Ten.
Yeah, absolutely, as you just mentioned. Sending out great arm on the mound, Kurt Barr, starting pitcher for the Wolverines, 3.06 ERA, 4-2 record. We had a chance to ask Josh about Kurt Barr as well. What did he say on that one?
Yeah, he said that just in general, a freshman to sophomore year is kind of like a big shift in confidence. You go from high school to college, and then from having a full year of college to get set in, and there's a big mental step and added comfortability when you realize the mound hasn't moved. I thought that was funny. He said they've settled in, and not letting as many pass balls go by is huge for this team, and Kurt himself has stepped in and hasn't let that happen very often because of just his even-keeled attitude on the mound. And he said that even when he's hit a pitcher or a batter before, he just shakes it off, and every pitch is a new pitch. And he said he's definitely a role model to a lot of those younger guys coming into the season and going throughout the series.
Yeah, he'll definitely set the Wolverines up big here in this one. Having our final few meetings at home plate, we'll go ahead and take you through the starting lineups for the Wolverines. At center, AJ Garcia. In right, Mitch Voigt. In left field, Steven Hrustich. Designated hitter, Joe Longo. First baseman, Dylan Stanton. Third baseman, Cole Caruso. Catcher, Will Rogers. Second baseman, Mac Timbrook. And shortstop, Kyle Dernetti. Sydney, would you like to take us with OSU?
Yes, we have in left field, we have Trey Lipsy. And shortstop, we have Henry Kasmar. And catcher, we have Matthew Gravlin. Third base, we have Tyler. Ooh, we're about to start. So sorry. We have Tyler.
I think it's
Petterini, yes.
That's all I'm going to say.
Tyler Petterini. In right field, we have Mitchell Oakley. In second base, we have Joseph Murison. Designated hitter, Isaac Cadena. First baseman, Ryan Miller. Center fielder, Josh Stevenson. And pitching, we have Landon Beidelshees.
Name's a bit more difficult on the OSU side.
Definitely.
We'll make sure to do our best to get those right for you, though some of these are just not in the pronunciation guide, which we still have a few moments before we kick things off, which I'll use to go on my first rant of the evening. Teams underestimate how much help people need with pronunciations.
100%.
Like, there has been across all sports, male and female, I mean, there are games on both sides where I'm consistently like, I don't think you realize this is not a common name, and I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, when I was doing some research about the Minnesota team, I went into their website, and they had an audio file for each of the players where the players said their name, where they're from, and their position they played. And that was so helpful because not only did you get the pronunciation, but you got it from the player themselves and the pronunciation of where they're from. So that was just really easy, and like I think that's something all teams could implement.
I have to agree with you because, I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe these are common names in other places, and it's just like, oh, I'm the fool for not knowing. But there's sometimes where I'm like, this, I've never seen this before, and you're just putting me out there and being like, hey, Hope, figure it out. And I'm like, oh, okay. I want to get this right because you just genuinely never know, especially with our softball broadcast. We do get a lot of listeners, like families.
Yes.
And like that's especially like when you know that their parents are listening and you just bungle a pronunciation. Ugh, it's the worst feeling.
Yeah, my older brother plays D3 hockey, and so sometimes we'll listen to the broadcasts of his games out in Chatham University, and I always cringe when they say Cyprian, but it's Cyprian, and I'm like, I just wish they like knew that it was Cyprian, not Cyprian, and every time they say it, I'm like, oh no.
Honestly, I think they should just put a pronunciation for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't care if that means you're going to have to phonetically tell me how to say John Smith. Do it. Because maybe I'm messing it up. As we're finally getting things started here, Trey Lipsy leading off for Ohio State.
He's a junior from Southfield, Michigan, which is only 40 minutes away, so he's not too far from home. Probably has some family members here to watch him today.
First pitch in, taken high, ball one. Second one misses high as well, ball two.
Yeah, Kurt definitely needs to watch out for this batter here. He leads his team with 5 home runs, so definitely not something you want to give up.
In for strike one. Mentioned it a little bit in our pregame interview as well. OSU batting a heavily lefty lineup. Michigan, on the other hand, mostly righty. Lipsy swinging. That could be popped out deep to center field, and that one is caught at the wall.
Definitely a little bit more momentum on that, and that would have gone completely out. Leading your team with home runs, that definitely means you have quite the power, and especially all the way out there in deep center field and getting the catch like almost directly on the wall. Just a little bit more momentum, and that would have gone.
It's like it may have been out for 1 second. Bunt laid down by Kazmar, and that'll be good. There's no play on the third base line.
Sophomore from Bath, Ohio.
Batting third, Matthew Gravelin. The catcher. Low and away, ball one. Strike one.
It's great. frame there by the catcher.
Been on the outside corner. Pulled in by Will Rogers.
Casmore not really leading off too much on first.
They'll check him over at first. As mentioned in our interview, OSU speedy team on the base path, and they like to do a little bit of trickery. So wouldn't be surprised to see that here.
Casmore only having 2 stolen bases.
And one outside. Seeing right for a ball 2. 2-1 count, 1 out. Here in the top of the first. Sun is directly in my eyes. So third pitch outside. Not too far outside. Gravelin sets up not too far back in the batter's box, but enough that Barr might not be getting those outside pitches. Kazmar going, throw in time but high, and it'll escape actually out in the center field. Kazmar thought about going, but it was definitely not uncontrollable enough for that to be a safe decision.
It looked like a hit-and-run situation. We had Gravelin swinging at a very low pitch, but probably on purpose so we can block the viewpoint of the catcher in order to have a steal go down to second, and it worked out successfully.
Yeah, clearly, because that was a big swing and a miss from Gravelin. But
that's the type of call you want to make on a 3-1, though.
As you mentioned, as I mentioned and Fegley mentioned, a lot of speed on the base path for OSU, as that is ball 4, and Gravelin will take first. One out, 2 on for OSU. Our cleanup hitter, number 42, Tyler Petterini.
40 hits of the season, batting a .313. He's driven in a team best 32 runs and leads the team with 5 home runs as well.
Dangerous hitter for Ohio State, strike 1.
Yeah, he's definitely one of their best hitters, and to have an RBI, a double RBI situation going on here is not ideal for Michigan.
Ball number 2 hits the dirt. Rogers has to jump up to try and keep Kazmar at second. No attempt, though. Missed. High, I guess, for ball 2.
Kurt Barr was awarded Big Ten Pitcher of the Week in March.
Swinging away on that one. It's going to be skied and caught. No throwing attempt. No running attempt. They're going to refrain from tagging up on that one.
Kind of surprised about that. I mean, that was kind of a good situation to do so, but he led off all the way into the shortstop zone, so not much you can do to get back and tag up and run all the way to third.
Also being on that side, not too far of a throw there. It's on the same side of the base path. Miss high for ball 1.
Crowd cheering on Kurt right now. Definitely one of Michigan's best pitchers on the mound today.
Strike 1 right down the middle. No swing from Oakley.
And not only like the best pitcher for Michigan, but also the best pitcher in the Big Ten, being ranked 4th in ERA.
No swing again, in for strike 2. Inside corner. Oakley left-handed. Swinging away, hit chop to the second baseman. Throw is in time, and that'll end the inning.
No runs on the board for OSU in that inning, although they had several runners on base. Just couldn't make anything happen.
OSU will strand 2 as we move to the bottom of the first. Leading off for the Wolverines, AJ Garcia, followed by Mitch Voigt and Steven Hrustich.
AJ was definitely somebody we talked about when we had interviewed Josh Fagley, and he said that as a freshman, AJ has been able to settle down more than the average freshman in terms of when you have a pop-up ball to you in the outfield and it's your first time being out there, it's almost like very common to drop one of those or get really freaked out and have a lot of anxiety, but AJ has been able to settle down, and he's a staple down the road for Michigan, and he catches on the jumping of the hurdle of having scary first. So definitely one of the best freshmen on the team. He starts pretty much every game, and he's just really ideal player to have, and definitely can only go up from there in terms of growth and being great for Michigan.
Now we've got some great analysis about who's going to lead things off on our side. We had a chance to talk about OSU pitcher Landon Beidelshees a little bit as well. What did Coach say about him?
Yeah, so kind of like you mentioned before, we have a little bit of the reverse. We have mostly a right-handed batting lineup here for Michigan today, and Beidelshees is a left-handed pitcher, so we were wondering if there was a different approach to facing a left-handed pitcher when you have a primarily right-handed batting lineup. And he said, we have seen predominantly right-handed pitchers, but we try to focus on what we see a lot of rather than the hand they throw. Although they still struggle with facing left-handed pitchers because there's a different angle that they throw at, and it's really hard to catch those, especially if you don't see them often. So he said what they need to do is to hammer it down the middle field, pull more than normal, and get on it, and it should be a great matchup. Beidelshees is a great pitcher. Their pitching staff has a lot of velocity on them. So Michigan just needs to get on it fast, and drive it down the middle.
Absolutely. Great analysis, and we had a really great interview. Very approachable, eager to great answers to all of our questions. Really appreciate him taking the time to talk to us. As that'll be in for strike 1. May have dusted the inside corner a bit, but who am I to judge? Swinging away. That'll be foul into the bullpen. 0-2.
We like to call those new lives, those hits that almost get caught, but go foul and don't get caught. So.
And they're going to call that strike 3. Looking on Garcia. He probably doesn't agree with it. Some fans here didn't agree with it either. Doesn't matter if we agree with it. We don't affect the game. We just sit up here and talk about it. That'll bring Mitch Voigt up to the plate.
Mitch Voigt, a true utility player here.
Strike 1. Maybe low. Voigt swinging away. That one will come back and hit a different window up here in the press box, not ours. If it hits ours, I will scream. There is glass in front of us. I will still scream.
Headphone warning for those of you out there.
It's
probably not going to happen though.
It's not a very high pitched scream as ball 1 misses high. It's just like something like that. Even though it is my goal to catch something on a broadcast, haven't gotten there yet. I don't think a foul ball is what I want. Swinging away again for Voigt. That one will go foul. Oh, probably dismantle a car window,
I hope
but
not mine.
This is why you walk to the stadium. If anyone wants to damage property, they're gonna have to damage me because my car is not out there. And that's another called strike 3 looking.
I mean, I think we're seeing that right now. The velocity of Beidelshees is just like a really fast pitcher, and really hard to see the ball all the way through because that was 2 strikeouts looking, and it's not really common.
Ball number 1 is Steven Hrustich on a pitch that I would have sworn got called as a strike for Voigt, but what do I know? He'll miss ball 2 low. I will stop criticizing the ump. I've been told I'm too negative. Ball 3 away.
We kind of mentioned that the lead amount of home runs for OSU is 5. Well, Harustich here has 9 for Michigan, and that's the lead for the team. So definitely a little bit of a difference there.
Another foul ball. 3-1. 2 outs, bottom of the first. Lovely day here in Ann Arbor. That'll be ball 4 for Harustich. He'll take first. Bring up cleanup. Designated hitter Joe Longo.
Bridal Shoes really doesn't take too much time in between his pitches. I start talking about something, he's already about to throw his next pitch. But that was something else that I kind of noticed, is that they like to switch up their speed in between pitches, and that can really throw off a batter.
Longo swinging away on the first one. Try to check it a little bit. That'll be called strike 1. Same pitch, taken low. Ball 1. All just trying to figure things out, including our strike zones. I said it was going to be less negative. I lied. I can't offend anyone if I'm talking about the ump. You know, that's not... No one's getting upset about ump talk. Ball 2.
Yeah, Joe Longo, a multi-talented athlete here. Definitely considered playing football for a lot of his career.
That one deep to center, not enough. He'll be caught. Looked a little. Looked like it was going further than it did. That'll be out number 3. Take us to the top of the second.
2 very quick innings here for OSU and Michigan on the offensive side. No runs on the board for either team. Kind of a slow start for both teams. OSU leaving runners on base. Michigan having a difficult time getting their bats awake to the sense where it's not a catchable ball, not hitting those gaps, or I like to call it the good zone, but like the gap between your infielders and your outfielders. That's a good place to hit the ball. You're not always needing to hit a home run. I mean, although that's nice, you just need a base hit, and that'll win you the game there.
Absolutely. OSU will start leading things off with Joseph Mershon. Like, for example, I'm going to say Mershon. I don't know because they didn't tell me how I'm supposed to say that. Going back to our earlier conversation about let's just expand pronunciation guides. I want it for everyone. I once downloaded the NHL pronunciation guide for no reason, just so I could have it.
Really?
Just, I don't know what point I was trying to make, but I just had that available to me. Not the weirdest thing I've downloaded. We like to know things here at WCBN Sports. Award given out this week at our banquet earlier this week was rulebook knower.
That
was Linder's.
Linder.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. When I heard he got that award, I was like, yes.
We had our annual banquet on Monday this year. Great time. Gonna miss a lot of our seniors as that's in for strike 1. I can tie things into my game calling.
This is Joseph Mershon, graduate student from Taylor's, South Carolina.
That's almost my sister's name. Bid high for ball 2.
Yeah, he attended College of Charleston for undergrad, and he has a team-leading 12 stolen bases. So don't want him on base for Michigan for sure.
Outside for ball 3, 88 miles per hour. They got that over there. I just noticed.
Oh, really?
I'll start sprinkling that in when I feel like it's important. Chop to second base, and that's a errant throw. He'll be safe as Dylan Stanton had to jump off the bag to collect that one. Unfortunate to put a guy, like you mentioned, like Mershon, who steals a lot of bases on the base path, on an error.
On a routine throw to first.
Don't want to. Those mistakes can kill you. It's early enough in the game that it might not Might not matter too much, but it depends on how they get out of this inning. And Marshawn takes off. Throw in time. We're going to call him safe. Controversial amongst fans in the stadium.
Michigan interested to see if they're going to ask to replay. No, not at all.
The throw got there about in time. May have taken too long to lay the tag down.
Yeah.
They're not going to complain too much about it, but there you go. There's his 13th successful stolen base.
13th successful stolen base.
As a bunt attempt from Ilan Kadena pops up for out number 1. Rashawn will stay at second base.
Although very close to stealing third because Cole Caruso came in to catch the ball and nobody covered third. But Cole got back really fast in order to keep him at second.
Could have been another unnecessary mistake, but luckily no harm, no foul as Ryan Miller steps up to the plate for OSU from Dublin, Ohio. The pause was because I was about to do an Irish accent. And then I said, better not.
Probably not. Well, Ryan played at the University of Tennessee last year, and he went to the 2023 College World Series with the Volunteers. So definitely a good player here.
And was then like, let me go to OSU, which I guess makes sense. He is from Ohio, but
maybe wanted to stay close to home.
Slapped him down the first base side. Foul.
It is said that Ryan always gets to the field early every day to work on some personal growth and then plays with the team and maybe even stays after a little bit. So definitely a hard worker up to bat here.
1-2 is our count, 1 out. Foul this time down the third base line and in the air. 90 miles per hour on that one from Kurt Barr. And it is really sunny. It's directly in my eyes. I got a giveaway hat. It doesn't fit over this headset, so it's not even going to help. Gonna turn around and check on Marshawn at second. He's just going to stay there.
As it's the maize out today, so Michigan wearing maize and OSU wearing gray. They were giving out bucket hats. Kendall wearing hers on top of her headset.
I look great right now. This is a broadcast I'm really glad we don't have a broadcast cam for. Low and in for ball 2.
I have yet to be on a broadcast with a broadcast cam.
It can be fun, and then sometimes you get like texts from your parents being like, stop touching your hair. And you're like, I didn't know I was on camera. So miss, I don't really know how, for ball 3.
Yeah, a little half swing there. Surprised Will Rogers didn't ask the lineup.
Full count, 1 out, Marshawn on second. That'll miss high. Real high. For Kurt Barr, luckily, because there was not much on that. That'll put Miller on first and bring in Josh Stevenson, center fielder.
Stevenson from Lafayette, Louisiana. He went to LSU for 2 years and won the 2023 College World Series with LSU. So we have 2 2023 College World Series appearances on this team and both back-to-back in the lineup.
We're like, no, I've got to go to OSU so bad.
But he plays more than baseball as he was a 2-time state champion in football in high school.
Wow. Wonder if Ryan Day's been in contact after losing for what's that, the 3rd time to Michigan? Who's counting? Me. I'm counting. 2 balls early for Stevenson. And they're going to take a minute to talk to Barr on the mound.
Well, Ohio State has been in this situation in the previous inning, having 2 runners on first and second, having someone up to bat, and still not being able to bring anybody in. So maybe that is what our head coach, I believe, is going out there, Tracy Smith, maybe, is about to talk to him about maybe just kind of channeling the same energy, keeping that even-keeled attitude that Josh Fegley had said he has, and just kind of recollecting your thoughts and going at him.
Yeah, a couple bad misses there. I want to make sure everything's okay. Take some time off. Doesn't need to define anything if you can get back to it.
Great. They all know that Kurt Barr is an amazing pitcher, and even sometimes we all have our off days, so he just needs to recenter himself and get back in the game.
Yeah, and you mentioned Josh Fegley said that Kurt's done a pretty good job of regulating himself this season, calming himself down, not letting the game get away from him. As that'll be hit into right field, they are not going to send Mershon. Great throw from Mitch Voigt.
Fantastic play there by Mitch Voigt, keeping the runners contained only to one base, allowing only one base hit off of that, especially it being in the right field. That's kind of ideal when you have someone on first and second, is to hit it towards that right side so they have as much time to round the bases and get home. And so Mitch Voigt being there, stopping it, and getting it in as fast as he can really helped Michigan.
We go back to the start of the lineup. Left fielder Trey Lipsy with bases loaded. 2 balls. Nope. Yeah. First ball 1.
Last inning, Lipsy flied out to the center field.
Big swing and a miss for Lipsy. 1-1. Like we mentioned, it's a beautiful day. It's been a beautiful week, pretty much, here in Ann Arbor. But when that sun goes down, it might get chilly, as I'll be out on the outside corner for strike 2. 1-2.
We're definitely seeing that even keeled here. I mean, bases loaded, that has to be a really high anxiety situation, but he's really performing right now, giving 2 strikes and possibly a third in this next pitch.
Big swing and a miss from Lipsy. Strike 3. And there's 2 outs for the Wolverines. Great recovery by Kurt Barr.
2 outs, bases loaded, force out at home. They're throwing the strikeout shirts. I love that.
I'll bring up Henry Kazmar, the shortstop, in, and we'll start with strike 1 looking.
Henry in the first inning singled off of a bunt. Definitely can't bunt in this situation.
I mean, he could.
He could.
It just would be a bad idea.
True.
Big hack at that one. No dice. Strike 2.
Big hack. No die. That's funny.
I love words. I love saying stuff like I'm a 70-year-old baseball announcer. They're going to say Kazmar pulled his swing back. Well, the ump's going to say it. The Michigan bench is going to say he did not pull it back in time, and that should end the inning.
I think they even probably thought that was a strike throw in general, whether he swung or not.
Haven't quite ironed out the strike zone here, it would appear. High, ball 2.
Got 2s across the board here. My favorite thing to say.
Popped up. Mitch Voigt comes in to collect. And Kurt Barr gets out of the top of the second unscathed. Great recovery there
Again,
for the sophomore Wolverine.
Ohio putting guys on the bags and still not able to make anything happen. 0s across the board still. That was a really good situation for Ohio State to be in. They just couldn't capitalize on it, having bases loaded. But Kurt Barr, that even-keeled attitude of his, definitely allowed him to rethink every pitch is a new pitch, every batter is a new batter, and I can get out of this, and that's exactly what just happened.
Great recovery, came back strong, even after that little mound meeting. Gave up a hit, but, didn't phase him. Like I mentioned again, just really, really calm guy. Done a great job of regulating himself this season. Not letting things get too intense. I would be responding to this video that they're showing on the board, but I can barely hear it, so.
They're just basically saying a bunch of little fun facts about themselves.
And I love these. I love fun facts. I love working them in. This is better than at the Frozen Four, where they had a sing-along, which was just the players in the games wearing headphones, singing along to a song, but you couldn't hear the song. You just heard them.
That's actually kind of funny.
It was very funny when it was the Michigan guys and the Denver guys. Or not Denver, BC guys. And it was Mr. Brightside. Some people were taking that more seriously. There were dudes on BC that just did not know the words.
Well, I mean, that is a Michigan tradition right there.
Rooker McGroarty, very excited about it. He was having a great time.
Looks like Landon Beidelshe's up on the mound again. In comparison to Kurt being ranked number 4 in ERA for Big Ten pitchers, Landon is ranked 7th. So definitely a good matchup here. I mean, we've seen with Landon that he can throw fast and he doesn't take too much time in between his pitches. Interested to see if he'll keep doing that, but definitely keeping Michigan on their toes. Michigan really only having 4 guys up to bat so far, so definitely starting with Dylan Stanton here.
Dylan Stanton swinging away. Foul.
Senior from Richland, Michigan.
Pitch number 2 going to be a strike.
Dylan Stanton is in a family of baseball players. His dad played at Kalamazoo Valley Community College. His brother played there as well, and his other brother, Cade, played at Grand Valley State. So definitely a big family.
That'll be
sport.
Fouled back for strike 2. Still, because it was foul. In case you've never listened to baseball before and this is your first time for some reason.
And that's okay.
Ball 1. Swung and lined up the middle over the head of Beidelshe's for a base hit.
Exactly did what he needed to do there. He got on it, drove it up the middle field, and hit it in the good zone. So definitely a base hit there, and base hits will win you the game.
Cole Caruso stepping up to the plate. The third baseman, or number 2. He'll take that one low for ball 1.
A junior from Scottsdale, Arizona. Third baseman, too.
It's hot there. I don't blame him for getting out. He'll take that one low for ball 2.
Well, he is a transfer student from the University of South Carolina upstate, and this is his first season with Michigan. He played 2 years in South Carolina.
It's muggy there. I don't blame him for getting out either. That one in the dirt, I think, for ball 3. Well, not in the dirt. This is a turf field, but you know what I mean. It's a saying. That one finally gets in for a strike, 3-1. 90 miles per hour on that heater.
That heater. I like that one, too.
I'm an old man. That'll be strike 2, low. Some heavy complaints. Heard. Can't tell if that's in the stands or in the bench. I talk like an old man because all my baseball announcers I listened to growing up were old men. That one popped up fair. He's going to try and have that roll out of bounds. And that is foul, not out of bounds, foul. And that is what happens because they had bounced foul while it was still a fair ball or before the third baseline. I don't know if I agree with that one, but that's the call, and I have to say that.
It was a very risky judgment call there by Petterini, the third baseman for Ohio State. That definitely could have bounced on the other side of the base, and you would have had both runners advance. So, very risky call, but it paid off.
And that, another controversial one. Crusoe had thrown his bat expecting ball 4. Instead, he'll strike out looking. For the first out of the bottom of the second.
We have Will Rogers from Shoreview, Minnesota, my bad, junior.
He'll get a base hit in between the shortstop and the third baseman. Ground ball. 2 runners on. Up comes Mac Timbrook.
Timbrook really helping Michigan out against their game in Toledo with a punch hit single that gave Michigan their final lead and win against Toledo.
In low for ball 1, though that kind of seems like it was the same pitch Caruso struck out on. What do I know? I'm just an announcer. Swinging away, that one gonna try to double up, but there's an errant throw.
More like an errant catch.
More like an errant catch. It was just a bit of miscommunication there. The throw wasn't so bad. It's just in the catching attempt kind of things got wonky. And now
Popped right out of the glove.
it'll be bases loaded for the Wolverines. And for shortstop, Kyle Dernetti.
A graduate student from Tualatin, Oregon. Never heard of that place before.
First pitch ball. Fouled way back into the parking lot, and somebody just lost a taillight. That's an assumption.
Dernetti played 4 seasons at Oregon State, and his dad ran track at Willamette and Oregon State. So,
And his favorite baseball player of all time is Albert Pujols. I'm reading that. Skied into right field. They're going to send the runner at third. And both are going to be safe as they sent the runner at second as well. And that put the Wolverines up.
first run on the board here for Michigan. That was really smart tagging up here. We got a good tag at second, and then our runner on first.
Didn't it? Did it not put the Wolverines up? Am I hallucinating?
Oh, it did. They just
Were they not big? I'm like,
they
were
haven't
not
put it up
supposed
there
to
yet.
put it? There we go.
Scoreboard taking a little
Getting
bit of time.
faster scoreboard updates here on WCBN Sports.
Heck yeah.
Oh, and now we're going to hit AJ Garcia on the elbow and load the bases once again.
Ouch.
Ouch. Ouch indeed.
Vital, she's really needing to settle down here.
Mitch Voigt stepping up to the plate, a chance to do some damage, and OSU knows that. They're going to head out to the mound to talk to Beidelshees.
That might be Andrew C., the co-pitching coach, maybe. If it is, Andrew C. spent 7 years at Clemson as the program's pitching coach, now pitching coach for OSU, so definitely a good... Oh, and he also was worked 3 seasons at Duke as a pitching coach.
Boo.
So, He knows his stuff.
I got Duke fans in the family, but I don't respect it. Mitch Voigt leaning all the way back in the box. Bases loaded. First pitch swinging, foul down the third base line. A little bit of whoa. There's a screaming child near somewhere.
Yes.
Hope she's okay. Or he, I couldn't tell. Voigt swinging a bit out of his shoes on the first one. He'll take the second one, but it's called strike 2. Wolverines just have 1 run in the inning. Would love to add on at least 1 more, if not a couple. Way outside, ball 1.
Mitch is definitely the true definition of a utility player, and a good one at that, leading the team in RBIs and doubles.
Voigt, that's going to be into the glove of the center fielder. Didn't drop quick enough. Was dropping, but needed to land about 2 or 3 feet before where it did. That'll end the second inning. There is still a screaming child as we head to the third.
Both teams kind of having some missed opportunities here with bases loaded. Although Michigan was able to get on the board with 1 run, they still had an opportunity with bases loaded to make something happen, and they just couldn't. So both teams needing to wake up their bats a little bit more to help their defensive end.
Yeah, Voigt put some good contact on that. Got it barreled up, just needed to drop about 2 feet in front of where it did. Unfortunately, that was right into the hands of right into the glove of Josh Stevenson, the OSU center fielder.
Kurt Barr right back up on the mound for Michigan. Season 9 of Country Fan.
It'll be, is it Kazmar or Gravelin starting off for this inning?
I believe it is Gravelin.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, Gravelin in the first inning walked, and that's his only at-bat so far in the game. He is a sophomore, and he's right-handed.
Crazy.
Fun fact.
Sun not setting here. At least not at the speed I would like it to. It's about 6:45 in case you're listening from a different time zone. In case you're my dad. I don't know if he's listening or not. You know what time it is in St. Louis. I don't need to tell you that.
Shout out my parents in Texas.
What time zone's Texas in?
It's in Central.
Central is God's time zone, and I miss it. Anyway, back to baseball. Gravelin taking strike 1. Offered a little bit of a swing, but didn't matter anyway. It was a strike anyway.
Sophomore from Centerville, Ohio.
He'll check his swing again. They're going to say he went. Strike 2.
Good judgment call there by Will Rogers, Michigan catcher.
Oh, never mind. They're going to say he didn't go.
Oh.
Yeah, they're going to call that a ball, even though I would have sworn he just said it was a strike. But what do I know? Ball 2.
You are not a paid official.
I am not paid. I'm not an official. I'm up here, though. Wearing a hat half on my head. Blown away, ball 3.
Seems to be where Kurt Barr is missing a lot this game, is low and away and very into the left-handed batter's box.
Yep, there we go. I was right. I'm never wrong. That was a strike. It's 2-2. Now it's low and away for ball 3. Just repeat the last thing. But I was right about that being a strike, and I knew I was. I don't know why I doubted myself. Big swing and a miss for out number 1. Gravelin came out of his shoes a little bit on that one.
Throwing the strikeout shirts in the crowd here.
Is that what those rally towels were that we passed?
No.
Oh, different thing? Those are just rally towels. This is just a shirt?
Yes. Michigan has
Throw
a
it up here.
tradition in a lot of their athletics to throw out shirts on big occasions. So.
Throw it up here.
Yeah,
I want to
throw
catch
one.
one. Foul ball back over the press box and into not someone's car this time. I think about where we are, that would have just been over to Yost. I want to catch a t-shirt on a basketball broadcast so bad. Like, that's my goal. I think they could get one up there. Chopped. Come running up. That throw's gonna get away. But
Was that?
Petterini's gonna stay right where he was. He's not gonna push his luck. Brings up Mitchell Oakley.
Was that Caruso trying to get that?
It may have been. That's why I was like, and there's a guy, because that was
Directly
a little
behind
hard to see.
Kurt Barr. And so
Yeah.
most of the time that would be a shortstop or second ball, but Caruso sprinted to go grab it and just made a poor throw at first.
First throw in for strike one, as that'll get designated an error. 2 errors already for the Wolverines. The top of the third.
With Oakley up to bat, and he grounded out to second base in the first inning.
Check on the runner at first. That throw was almost errant as well. Dylan Stanton had to get on up there to catch that one.
Making him work over there at first base.
Runner goes. That throw is in time and good. And Petterini's going to get caught stealing. It's an excellent throw from Will Rogers.
Petterini with a 70% stolen base average, 7 bases stolen, and only caught 3 times, adding another one to the time that he has been caught, bringing his percentage down. 70% is pretty good.
So that was, 7 on 10? Now it's 7 on 11?
7 on 11, yeah.
I'm not that good at math.
You just did great there.
No, I meant I can't divide that. I can't give you his new percentage. I don't know. That one, sky deep to left field, but it'll stay in the ballpark for out number 3, and that ends the top of the third inning. Oh. Is that who I think? Are we hearing who I think we are?
Beyonce.
Is this some Beyonce?
And her
Some Texas Hold'em, if
Texas
you will?
Hold'em, yes.
I am a very new member of the Beehive.
Really?
I'm going to be honest, I got into it because I like Taylor Swift, but I am a 49ers fan. And I was so sick of her after that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Not even a sexism way, just thinking, listening to her songs reminded me that my team lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do it. So I was like, what should I do now? All right, Beehive. I'm going to go be a Beyonce fan. I am.
I
now.
support that.
I've been big on Renaissance since it came out. I love Renaissance. But I enjoyed Cowboy Carter as well.
Good.
I mean, try and get tickets on Cheap Tours. They were available, in St. Louis last time.
Mm-hmm.
So, there were still some available prettier leading up, right before the show. So, might not be too hard. I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, playing some Texas Hold'em here. Cowboy Carter. Go listen to it. I haven't listened to Taylor Swift's new album.
I'm not even
I'm
the
an
biggest Swiftie,
I'm
but
an
I've
old
listened
man,
to it.
and I go to bed at 10 p.m. So I was not awake for the first album. I definitely wasn't awake for the second album. And I was like, I'll listen to it today. And then I didn't. Oops.
My life starts at 10 p.m.
I get real sleepy. I have not been sleeping well. I pulled an all-nighter Sunday night, and I think I'm still recovering from that. So I'm also a huge morning person. My ideal wake-up time is 7:30.
Absolutely not.
So, yeah. See, there's that. So, I'm most productive in the morning. So that's when I like to be awake for longer. Steven Hrustich steps up to the plate. He'll take ball 1. He'll take ball 2. I'm going to be honest, I'm trying to predict these when they come in, and I don't know. Because I feel like I've seen the same pitch multiple times be called. That one was this. Okay. Strike 1.
Yeah, it's a little
Maybe a
difficult
bit
being
more?
behind the plate
Yeah.
here and seeing.
Because I see the ball go in, I'm like, that's a ball. And then I'll be like, no, it's not. I'm like, okay, what do I know? I'm just up here. But that'll be ball 3-1. Hacked away. That one's going to take out a car window.
Harustich walking in the first inning, so that's his only at bat as a walk. Now he's at full count.
High and outside. Ball 4. Rustich will jog to first
Walk again.
and bring up Joe Longo, the designated hitter.
Joe Longo in the first inning flied out to center field, although I do believe I recall it being a very big hit, so just a little bit more momentum. He had a home run.
That one fouled again. I think if I didn't lose that one in the sun, I could have watched it hit somebody's car. Baseball stadiums that are like just putting parking lots in places where they are just going to get demolished, kind of hilarious. Just like someone's going to hit a foul ball there. And you're just like, here's our parking lot.
Well, to be fair, the parking lot is only in foul territory.
Yeah, but still. I feel like that's more common than a home run. Good heads-up base running by Harustich. Prevents them from turning too, but they'll still get the out at first on a ground ball chopped by Longo, bringing up Dylan Stanton. Runner on second, 1 out. Bottom of the third.
Stanton singled to center field in the second inning.
Hi, Adam Bressler. Pleasure to see you here in the chat. Ball 1.
Oh my God, Adam, I've heard so much about you.
Adam Bressler, one of our former station directors, who's developed a bit of a mythos. But we love to see you here. Love to have you on this baseball broadcast on this fine Friday evening. 2 balls for Stanton. Big swing. Nothing doing, though. Strike 1.
Very unhappy with himself there. He jumped really high in the air.
Still trying to figure out a way to wear this hat. Not working. That'll be ball number 3 in the dirt. The dirt-colored turf. I'm just going to say dirt. You know what I'm talking about.
Well,
because in the turf, that could be anything.
Fair.
That one lined. Great play, though, by the second baseman. Come out and catch it.
Good eyes on Steven Harustich there. He didn't go far off of second. Was able to get back really fast.
Yeah, great base running, because otherwise it would be pretty easy for the Buckeyes to turn 2. Now bring up Cole Caruso.
Cole Caruso. This season he's done fantastic. Made his Michigan debut with 2 hits, runs, and RBIs against Western Michigan.
He's going to chop one down the third baseline. They're going to say foul. I really can't see close enough, or like detailed enough over there to call that. I can't say that's wrong or right because I can't tell.
Recently, he also hit a grand slam for Michigan, the first one of the season. In Oakland, or against Oakland. I actually was at that game and was able to witness that, and that was actually crazy. It was the coolest thing.
I don't know if I've ever seen a grand slam, like for my team, like the team I've been rooting for. I think I've gotten grand slammed, but not chopped up to second base. Throw good and in time. That'll end the third inning, and we'll just mosey right along to the fourth.
Pretty slow start to the game, if you ask me. Zeros pretty much everywhere, except Michigan has 1 in the second. And both teams have been able to get people on base. They just, in those high-intense situations when you're trying to get a 2-out rally going on, neither team has been able to make something happen. So both teams really need to step up on the offensive end. Not that they're not doing well. I mean, they had runners on base. They just in high intense situations haven't been able to capitalize. So definitely something both teams should work on for this game.
Absolutely. Barr's ERA has dropped all the way from 306 to 289 in this one. That's in 13 appearances, 4 games started, 50 innings. Well, that's what his original ERA was. I don't know what it is now. I guess 53 innings? Addition.
And kind of a lot of errors for the beginning of the game. Ohio State with 1 and Michigan with 2. I mean, only 3 innings in, and it's kind of a lot.
Yeah, things have been a little bit sloppy, fielding-wise. Luckily, none of them have come back to bite the Wolverines, but don't want to be making those mistakes, 3 or 4 innings from now.
And speaking of errors, Mershawn up to bat here. Reach on a throwing error by our second baseman in the second inning, Tim Brook.
Rashawn showing bunt. Doesn't pull it away in time, gets hit, and they'll give him first. Well, there's going to be some noticeable complaints, including from Kurt Barr.
I guess they're
what are they
wondering if he
what
stepped
does he
into
hit?
it. I think his ankle was hit. So I think
Gotcha.
they're wondering if he stepped into it or if it was hit on just naturally. So the officials are going to go review the play on their little screen over near the Ohio State dugout.
Yeah, there were some immediate complaints there from the Wolverines.
We have our home plate umpire, Mark Waggers, first base, Joshua Shepis, second base, Greg Harmon, and third base, James Malek. Always nice to acknowledge the umpires who are working this game. It's definitely a difficult job, especially like having to be completely fair and hear some negative feedback because nobody's going to be completely happy with every call that's made. So always important to acknowledge the umpires.
Way to be positive after I've spent this whole game being like, what are we doing?
I feel like we
Call
balance each other
strikes.
out.
I have, you know what? It's my reputation. I've been told I'm a little critical. I have once been told by one of our fearless leaders, Alex Miller, that I am straight up mean. That was about Aiden O'Connell on Purdue.
Yeah.
My bad.
You know, I always have the saying, like, is it mean if it's true?
No.
If
You know
it's,
what?
If
If
it's a fact.
If
is it
somebody
mean?
is running scared, they're running scared, okay? And I'm going to say that.
I love Will Rogers' hair. It's so fun. He's just standing over here at home plate as the catcher and took his helmet off. So I'm admiring his hair.
I think all sports should take a moment for that. Hockey especially, they already do. If you've ever seen the Minnesota high school hockey tournament, they have a best flow moment where this is all like the awful hockey hair. It's all like bleach blonde, fried for the playoffs. Oh,
Love it.
what a cultural moment.
The umpires are coming back to give the call. And they are saying it did hit him, and it hit him in his thigh. So he gets to half first, and Cadena now up to the plate. He popped up to third base in the second inning. So he's 0-1 today.
It's about 7 p.m. here. About an hour into this game, top of the fourth.
Huge lead off by Mershawn. An attempted pick there by Kurt. Mershawn with 14 stolen bases and 2 only caught. That's a lot for an average of 87%.
That one grounded to third. He'll go to turn 2, and they're going to say the second throw is in time. And that was a full split from Dylan Stanton.
Shaking it off a little bit there.
He didn't know he had that in him.
I know, like a literal full split. And if he didn't do that, that definitely wouldn't have been caught in time. We had a really fast runner there.
I love when baseball players do the splits because we're all like, that hurts.
Yeah.
And we know it. We know you're not
Especially
that
as women, we're like...
We're like, oh, we know that hurt for you. And that'll bring up Ryan Miller. I say, like, I can't touch my toes. More at 8. We don't need to talk about it, okay? I have long legs. I can't touch my toes. I don't need it. When am I going to need to touch my toes, huh? Yeah, exactly. I'm not in gym class anymore. 2 quick strikes on Miller. That one's swinging.
Miller walked in the second inning.
I'm going to be low. Ball 1. I'd like to thank all of you listening at home. We appreciate you. I know nothing specifically happened. I just sometimes think it's crazy that people listen to me talk about, like, do this stuff. And that is a third swing with nothing going. Strike 3, 3 outs. Once again, Wolverines get out of the top of the inning unscathed.
That was our University of Tennessee College World Series appearance player. That means up to bat for Ohio State next is going to be our LSU winner of the College World Series last season. I just love that they're back to back.
I just think it's so funny that they were both like, well, I've made it to the pinnacle of the sports world. What can I do next?
Big Ten.
Big Ten. Ohio State. Like, sure, man. Not my first choice. Especially after winning. What, did he want a challenge? Maybe? Maybe he didn't want to... No, because he wanted to see a different state. Wasn't he from Louisiana? He wanted to get out, see the world. I don't know. I went to Louisiana like 3 weeks ago. I loved it. Had a great time. That was New Orleans. So maybe that's it.
I love New Orleans. That's where my dad's from.
I was there for like 3 days. I loved it to the point I'm like, I could live here in the winter. Not in July, but that's a different story. But no, I had a great time. New Orleans. Great place. Tried a lot of food. I tried alligator for the first time.
Oh?
It tasted like salami.
Ew.
Ew, salami's great.
I just don't like the word salami.
That's what the ew was for. It wasn't the food. It was, oh, I hate that word. Aw. Nasty.
Nasty. We got the catcher, Will Rogers. I love that we said that the same
Sounds
time.
like a old-timey golfer name. Like Arnold Palmer. Like, that's what Will Rogers makes me think of. That one. Down the right field line. Foul.
Barely foul.
Yeah, barely foul, but didn't look like OSU's right fielder could get there in time.
That would have been
Oakley.
That would have been an easy triple there for Will Rogers if it did land fair, because it was right in the corner, kind of difficult to run to and pick up.
Yeah, he was covering a lot of ground, but if that one had dropped just a bit quicker, I think that would have been hard to play. Don't know how speedy Will Rogers is. I'm just not fast, so I kind of based everything off me being slow.
Will Rogers is one of the top-rated players out of Minnesota and 15th ranked catcher nationally coming into college. And his dad was also a catcher, but he played at the New Mexico State. Whoa. The New Mexico State.
The New Mexico
New
State.
Mexico State.
You don't own the LSU. Anyone can say it. Foul. 1 and 2. Though my high school radio director used to get so mad at me for saying, oh, that one, big swing, center field. Will be caught for out number 1. But yeah, my high school radio director used to get so mad at me because I would say, like, only when I was talking about sports teams, but I would say, like, the St. Louis Cardinals instead of the St. Louis Cardinals. He's like, it doesn't sound right. I'm like, it sounds proper, actually, is what it sounds like. And it was like always for emphasis, you know? Like the Michigan Wolverines instead of the Michigan Wolverines. He hated it. He got so mad at me. Like, he tried to train me out of it. Didn't work. Haha. And now I'm here. I probably said the Michigan Wolverines on the national championship broadcast, and now that's forever.
Set in stone.
Like, I don't know what to tell you. Oops. 2 balls. Quick for Mac Timbrook. Sounds like a Disney Channel name. In a good way.
Tim Brook in the second inning reached on a fielder's choice, and Rogers advanced to second on that, and by a throwing error, Stanton advanced to third. Or they all advanced. That didn't make sense, but I hope you understand.
3-1. That'll miss low and in. Ball 4, putting Timbrook on first.
It's definitely interesting to see the hitting summary here for both teams. Ohio State overall is 214 on their batting average, and Michigan with 167. But Michigan with 1 and Ohio State with none on the board.
Kyle Dernetti doesn't get a chance to do anything because they're going to check on Timbrook over at first. I should have said a different word. Instead of saying first.
First.
And they'll check on him again. He's fine. He thanks you for asking. Back to the game, please. And if you could believe it, the sun is somehow more in my eyes now. First pitch, low, ball 1.
Kyle Dernetti.
Low, ball 2. See any good movies lately?
Well, I'm about to watch Kung Fu Panda 4.
I think that qualifies as a good movie.
I haven't seen it yet.
But I would say, yeah. I love the earlier ones. Outside, ball 3.
Not much of an animated movie lover, but I will watch Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda's great. I love Kung Fu Panda. Catcher gonna head out to talk to his pitcher. Beetlejuice. Landon. I like to when I'm like talking about athletes, like on teams, I do call them by their first names a lot. Like if you look at my me and my dad's text conversations during like 49er games, we're not texting each other anything. We're texting like George! Exclamation point. And I'm just supposed to be like, I know what that means. It's like means Kittle caught a pass, but we just like we call them by their first names. So like I don't know, it feels weird to only refer to people by their last names, but
completely fair. At this point, the amount of research we do on them, I'm like, we're on a first name basis.
I'm like, I know this guy. I don't say that's Rucker. That's not McGroarty. That's low, but they're gonna call it for strike 1. I don't know if I've seen any good movies lately. I've been on like new movies. I've been on a big movie kick. Swinging away, foul. That one is gonna hit probably a person, if I had to guess.
Oh.
I don't know, maybe like not hard, but like I mean, it's not gonna hit a car.
Soft tap.
Yeah, just a pet. I've been on a big movie kick. I'm a big letterbox person.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Line to the second baseman. They'll get the one at second. They'll get it at first. And they'll get the end of the 4th inning. Yeah, I recently paid for Letterboxd, like Pro.
Interesting.
I don't know. I've watched 43 movies this year, which is as many movies as I watched last year.
Okay.
I've seen Dune 2 twice. Great. I love Dune 2. And I kept telling my sister she'd love it too, and she was kind of looking at me like, okay, please shut up about the sand movie. And then she saw it, and she got mad that I wasn't. She got mad that I wasn't awake to talk to her about it because my sister goes to school in California, so 3-hour time difference. And she got mad that I wasn't up at like midnight, so she could tell me her Dune opinions.
What were her Dune opinions?
Oh, she liked it.
Okay, good.
She really liked it. The guy out. If anyone listening has seen Dune 2, have you seen Dune 2?
I have not.
Have you seen Dune 1?
I have not.
Okay, you don't need to.
I am a film major.
You are?
Yeah.
That's fun.
I'm a film and communications major.
That's fun though. You don't have to have seen Dune. That's more about science, really, if you think about it. Science fiction. There's like this fictional language in Dune that like they speak, And the guy that created it is an alumni of my sister's high school. I mean, not high school, college. And we both think that's really cool. And no one else does, probably, in the world. Because nobody else cares about conlangs, which is constructed languages. It's like fictional languages. Like, if you've ever seen Game of Thrones, Valyrian, Dothraki, all that kind of stuff. I'm being a huge nerd right now, but I didn't see what that said.
my boyfriend said we're gonna watch Dune because you're talking about Dune now.
I agree. Make her watch Dune. Dune 1, I'm going to be honest with you, kind of dull. Kind of boring, but you got to slog through it. Dune 2, fantastic. It is so good. Josh Stevenson steps up to the plate. He'll take strike one. It's like so, it is spectacular, truly. Rebecca Ferguson, yeah, she's great.
This is our LSU 2023 World Series. I love that fact. I'm going to say it every time they're up to bid.
He said, I've reached the pinnacle of the world, and now I got to go do what I want to do most. Live in Ohio.
Yeah, I'm going to leave Lafayette, Louisiana, and come play for OSU. Although, if I did have to choose where to play, a Big Ten school would be really fun. Like, the spirit of Big Ten is just, like, out of pocket, but, like, in the best way possible. So, that's why I love Michigan.
I just can't imagine being like, Ohio. That one blooped over the shortstop's head in a center for a base hit.
In the good zone.
First runner on. Also, I'll give you a little heads up. This will be my final half inning of play-by-play. We're going to switch over. I'll start doing color.
You get to hear me speak. Yay.
There'll be less descriptions of plays that sound like an old man. Because that's who I grew up on. Rest in peace, Tim McCarver. He was a big one for me.
We have our leadoff here.
He'll think bunt. No. Ooh, that looked like it was in time to catch him stealing, and it was. Will Rogers has been showing off the arm today.
100%. Dernetti being there to catch that and get that tag down, especially after the first time when he was unable to get that tag down fast enough because the throw was there from Will Rogers. Then the time after, able to get that tag down. And now this time, able to get that tag down. He's definitely learning and definitely growing throughout this game, and it shows. Ohio State is really wanting to steal, and they're not going to let him.
Great job really eliminating those base runners. Hit up to the right a second. That's a base hit. And think about the fact that there could be two runners on right now. So, once again, great heads-up play by, the Michigan defense. Great throw by Will Rogers. Everybody comment your favorite Dune character.
Yeah, comment your favorite
Mine's
Dune.
Lady Jessica. This is a sci-fi world. And there are characters that's like Jessica. Paul. Duncan, Idaho.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's a science fiction name. Duncan, Idaho. Miss inside for ball one. It's Duncan, Idaho's fault, if I've ever seen it.
In the first inning, Kazmer singled off of a bunt, and then in the second, I believe, he flied out to right field.
He'll miss inside again, ball two.
I see the word flied, and I think filed. My dyslexic brain is like switching the I and the L.
It happens. He filed it.
He filed it right to the right field.
I mean, filing it something is putting it away. So, it's if you.
I guess
if you say it and just like it's a metaphor, you could get away with it.
I'm missing a lot of metaphors in my sports calling, so maybe I can add that one to my.
In for strike one. I say a lot of weird stuff.
You do,
broadcast.
And I'm taking notes. I'm taking mental notes.
You might not be the best broadcaster, but you will be the favorite of the WCBN music side, as I have been told by someone because I say weird stuff. He said I was my favorite of the sports people because I say weird stuff. In for strike two, one of our former directors, Charlie Brigham, once told me that on basketball games, he would, because in my high school radio station was FM, everything we did. Mm-hmm. So, you couldn't have dead air for a second. High, ball three. Or, you'd get in trouble. And it took me a very long time to, get comfortable with a second of silence. Mm-hmm. So, Charlie Brigham said that he used to, during timeouts, just not say anything purposely to see what weird topics I would get into.
I kind of love that, though.
So, appreciate that. Charlie, actually, I'm just joking. I love Charlie. give me a lot of great opportunities. I appreciate that. He let me get on both Caitlin Clark games when I really shouldn't have been, like especially as a freshman. But I was in the know. Okay, I was in the know. I knew I was in. I don't want to say I was there before it was cool, but I was. So check on the runner first. 3-2 count, 1 out. But I was there, and you know where I will be this summer? Indianapolis specifically. I will be there. Indiana Fever. In case you're curious, I'll be there. Meet up, WCBN meetup at the Indiana Fever game.
Let's do it.
Another runner going, and that'll be another caught stealing. Will Rogers is on fire. Take another hit and run play, like you mentioned. Said it'll be a strikeout and a caught stealing.
At that point, they need to stop sending them. I mean, as good of a stealer Ohio State is, they have a lot of steals on their record.
They are not
Will
leaving.
Rogers is just fantastic.
They're bringing him back out there. I think they might say that he didn't get the tag down. If I had to, that's the only way I could understand that not working.
Personally,
because the throw was perfect. Like, it was there in time, so it's no way it's timing. They might just be saying that he missed him. I'm guessing.
Well, personally, just from where I'm looking,
I don't believe that.
It seemed like he tagged them. They're going to go review it at their little station next to the Ohio State dugout. But let's talk about Will Rogers, just because he's just a fantastic player right now.
He's having one. He's having a good night.
He really is. And I am a catcher as well, and so I really do appreciate a fellow catcher. And Will himself is not just a catcher. He plays both on the mound and behind the plate, and occasionally out in the field, but they love to keep him behind the plate, and I can see why with that throw down to second. And all his throw downs to second, they've been fantastic. But he spent 2 years at Arizona State prior to Michigan. His dad was a catcher at New Mexico State, like we mentioned before. He was drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers in the 17th round of the 2021 MLB June amateur draft with the 507th overall pick. He's a top-rated player out of Minnesota, just coming into college. He was ranked 15th catcher nationally. He participated in the 2020 WWBA World Championship, and he competed for Team USA on the 2019 16U National Team Development Program. So, Will is definitely an all-around fantastic player. He has a lot of experience. It runs in the family, obviously, and so it makes sense that he's on a big D1 team like Michigan and always starting, especially behind the plate as a catcher. Just a fantastic player overall, and we're definitely saying that as he would probably be my MVP of the game so far.
Yeah, he's had some absolutely outstanding throws from back there. From Minnesota, I wonder if he ever played in the Minnesota high school hockey tournament. And if he ever had awful hair. Because it's pretty good right now. Like, it's great right now.
It's fantastic. He's standing
we can see him.
Close to us.
Like, he's the closest player on the field to us.
Yes.
And he looks great. Hair looking spectacular, which is crazy because he puts that helmet on. And like that, I would look like a little orphan. Like a little street orphan.
I take my helmet off and my hair is like...
Yeah, when I my one season of catcher, I would take that helmet off and I looked like I just climbed out of a rat's nest.
Or I stuck my finger in a electrical outlet. Oh!
And all that for nothing. As he got him, which we could have told you from up here. Refs, if you need any help, umps, just contact us. You can call in. We have a number. It won't come to us, but they can contact
for sure.
us. And I'm done doing play-by-play now.
Yeah, now as we're going into the bottom of the fifth, I'll be taking over for play-by-play, which kind of makes sense. I feel like you like to tell a lot of stories, and I love to listen to your stories and give my commentary on them. So this should be fun. More stories to come.
I've got so many. Oh, and they're getting into it. That is one of OSU's coaches just letting the umpire have it, which is like, I don't know, man. Maybe stop sending your runners when Will Rogers is like, I'm unbelievable right now.
Oh, yeah. Like, he just had, 4 in a row tag out, throws down to second that were tagged out?
3 or 4, but he's been lights out.
And Ohio State's coach really unhappy about that one. A lot of boos from the crowd here. You might have heard it from our crowd mic. It makes sense on the crowd standpoint because we are such big rivals, Michigan, Ohio State. They're definitely going to be unhappy saying something like that. And they're just going to be unhappy with Ohio State in general. Vice versa, if we were playing in the Ohio State stadium, we would definitely be getting some boos from them as well. But I believe...
Well, I'll say it. These teams just do not like each other.
They
Sorry.
really do not.
I put that voice on because that's like a Chris Collinsworthism.
But we'll have Landon Battleshed back on the mound for Ohio State. And leading us off here, I believe, AJ Garcia. Yes, our leadoff for Michigan, freshman, left-handed batter. Today, he's batting a .310, which is fantastic, in my opinion. AJ in the first inning struck out looking, and he was hit by a pitch in the second inning, so hasn't really been able to get his bat on something.
He's found the ball, though. It was just to his right elbow.
Yes.
Ouchie.
Ouchie.
If you will.
And the pitch, he swings and fouls it backwards, putting 1 strike on the board.
Come to rest right at the corner of the N on the logo.
The next pitch is fouled back in the same area.
That one's going to go right back onto the N.
It's 2 strikes.
This is the kind of first-class analysis you just aren't going to get anywhere else from someone who's paid to do a good job.
And he swings and is unable to make contact, giving Ohio State their first out of the inning.
Yeah, it looks like he came out really wanting to get things started, especially as a lead-off hitter, especially with how hot Mitch Voigt has been. Looks like he just wanted to get on base. Unfortunately, doing a little too much. Couldn't get his bat on it in the way he wanted to.
Speaking of Mitch Voigt, he swings and does not make contact with the ball. Strike 1.
Same thing for Voigt, coming out, swinging out of his shoes. Which is understandable, but like you've got the lead in this game. You can afford to look for your pitch a little bit.
The pitch is inside and down. Ball 1. Got 1s across the board. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Mitch struck out looking in the first inning, and his second filed out to center field. That one is very much in the left-handed batter's box. That's 2 balls. He fouls it back exactly where AJ Garcia
nope,
filed.
That one just passed the end. Right, exact same area. That one just had a little more on it. Otherwise, it would have stopped right in the end, too, and you could have had bingo.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out.
Oh, the screaming child's back.
Mitch slings it out to the right field, and it is caught by right fielder Oakley for Ohio State. 2 outs.
Been a lot hit over there, which Fagley did mention in our interview with him, saying that because they're facing a left-handed batter, guys might try to put it out there, a bit more to the right field instead of trying to really pull it and, kind of flying out, skying out over there. And we've definitely seen that a couple times.
Steven Hrustich up to bat, fouls it back over the catcher's head. No balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs in the inning. That one's just low. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch. He fouls it back again right over the catcher's head. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Sorry, I've got to be real. I've got to be 5 hours late because I didn't want to post anything earlier.
You're a B-fake.
Yeah, you know what I am.
Hits it into the good zone. We're in the left field, giving him first base.
I'm seeing more of what they talked about focusing on, not trying to push things out to right field too much just because they're facing a lefty. Pulled that one, got it right, up near shortstop for a base hit. You know what? I am a beef faker because sometimes I've been at home for 3 weeks and I get it at 8 in the morning. When I know I'm going to a Cardinals game that night, I'm waiting and I'm posting it from Busch Stadium. Thank you.
Fair. He tries to pick him off at first, but Harustic not leading off too much, was able to get back in time. We have Joe Longo, our designated hitter. And that pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes.
There's also a softball game going on directly across the way as these fields are back-to-back with each other. So you can see straight in to the softball field.
Longo hits that right in the back. Whoa, okay, let me rephrase. Longo fouls it right behind him. Harustic leading off first. He tries to pick him off, but he gets right back.
At some points on broadcast, you get to the point where you're like, I've ran out of words. I can't think of anything else to say
especially
creatively.
On a 3-hour broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
He tries to pick him off again, but he's maybe a foot off the base, so he just steps right back on it.
At one point, it's just kind of like, calm down, man. I don't know. Nothing is happening.
And the pitch is outside. 2 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Harustic really not leading off that much. Longo swings, and I believe it's deflected off the catcher's shin pad. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. 2s across the board.
Every time you say that, I think of whatever Beyonce song where it's 10, 10. Is that Heated? The 10, 10, 10s across the board? I think that's Heated.
Probably. He tries to pick off Harustic again
at
first base. I really
give it a rest.
Don't understand why.
It's not intimidating. It's not working.
He's also not leading off that much.
And it's also probably going to more likely lead to an errant throw.
Longo hits that to the third baseman. He throws him out at first, putting us into the top of the 6th inning. Ohio State 0, Michigan 1. Kurt Barr going back on the mound for Michigan.
Yeah, and when we talked to Coach beforehand, he really emphasized wanting to get his pitchers through at least 6 innings. Barr currently rocking with a 76 pitch count, 5 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Because it's the first game of a weekend series, and they're looking for their, I think they only have, one first real Friday win?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said, and none at home.
Was that against UCLA?
UCLA, against UCLA, I think at UCLA. They've done great in the second and third games of series, which has kind of been who can outlast each other.
Yeah.
And what he called these dog fights, the first games of the series, they have not done maybe as well as they've wanted to. So they've had a really strong performance from Barr. He's gotten it. This is his 6th inning pitched. Exactly what they talked about wanting to do. And I mean, it's been an outstanding performance from him. Couple of, shaky spots, but he's gotten himself out of those jams phenomenally.
Definitely taking Michigan a little bit to warm up in these series, but ultimately they have outlasted their competitors and are great in the Big Ten standings, so completely makes sense.
Always hurts to drop the opener, but getting those last 2 definitely making up big, especially in Big Ten play.
Exactly. I mean, nobody seems to be warming up in the bullpen right now, so doesn't look like they're planning on taking Barr out. But he is one of their best pitchers, so I completely understand. Up to bat for Ohio State, starting us off in the top of the 6th, we have Matthew Gravlin. The first pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes, and no outs. And the pitch, he fouls it off towards the Michigan dugout. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gravlin walked in the first inning and struck out swinging in the third. That pitch is almost entirely in the left-handed batter's box. 2 balls, 1 strike. And that was a ball as well. I guess that was kind of outside, maybe. 3 balls, 1 strike.
It's also 7:30, which means the sun is directly in my eyeballs, directly in my line of sight.
He fouls that back over the stadium crowd. Probably hitting someone's car about now.
Hope you didn't like your windshield.
Hopefully not mine, though.
It'd be awful if I kept making all these jokes. Like,
And
haha, there
I
goes
get
your
out there and
tail
my
light.
car is
Haha,
just-
there goes your rear view mirror. I mean, like your driver's side mirror. And then it's like we gather and it's you.
He grounds it in between third and shortstop Cole Caruso, attempting to slide and get that, but unable to. So our left fielder, Harustich, picking it up and throwing it in, and he gets first base.
Yeah, just under the diving Caruso. Good hustle play. Just a bit too much on it. Couldn't get there in time.
Up to bat, we have Petarini. Gravelin on first. Petarini up to bat. He's 1-2 today. And he yanks that one up. Seems like in the middle. And it is caught by our shortstop, Dernetti.
That was almost dangerous, especially we're kind of getting to the time of night where the light is like, you don't know where I am. There's shadows you've never even dreamed of right now.
Yeah.
But good play. I almost thought they were going to bonk heads there, but this is why they're playing in college, and I never played outfield.
Up to bat, we have Mitchell Oakley. And that is a ball, I believe, down maybe.
Rogers hasn't focused the most on framing in this game, but I actually thought that was a pretty good one, so I'm surprised I didn't get the call.
1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. With Gravelin on first. And the pitch, that one being a strike.
It does look like someone's starting to warm up in the bullpen, but still obviously very early on.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. And the pitch, he fouls it, almost hitting our third base umpire. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. In the third inning, Oakley flied out to left field. And in the first, grounded out to second base. So he hasn't had much success in getting on base.
I think it's interesting how much danger different kinds of referees and umpires are put in. Because, like, umpires, it's kind of like, oh, better hop out of the way so a ball doesn't hit you. And in hockey, it's like you have been blindsided.
Yeah.
You need to be stretchered off the ice.
That one is outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Oakley up to bat, and we have Gravelin on first.
We also have the Big Ten Plus broadcast right next to us, including one of our colleagues, Jake Sager. And I've just kind of been looking at him every time to time, see if he notices. He is not. He's locked in.
That one was fouled backwards and hit off the net, and then it bounced over into the crowd. Everybody really excited to get the ball. But that puts 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out on the board. And strike out for Oakley. That would be Kurt Barr's 5th strikeout of the game.
That one painted the inside corner there. A little low. We've probably seen it called a ball, but I think it was a strike. Good pitch by Barr. Caught him there standing with his mouth open. Catching flies.
We got Joseph Mershon to bat now. He yanks it to the center field, and it is caught by Garcia, moving us all along into the bottom of the 6th.
One second, gotta update the graphic. Change my little arrows.
I hope you guys like the top of the inning and bottom of the inning arrows.
It took me, I'm gonna be really honest, embarrassingly, it took me a little too long to put that in there because of my font. Like, I tried to put it in there, I think my font was set to Helvetica, and it's like, you get a square. You get a, I don't know what this is, square. Figure it out. In case you're ever trying to do that, and you try to copy and paste something, it's like, I don't know what that is. Go to Apple Symbols. It's the font you're looking for. That'll help.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Nobody told me. Owen Crane dropped the ball on that one. Our graphics package leader. Just kidding. He probably thought that was common sense. Unfortunately, I don't have that. Oh, I missed the shuffle thing.
Shuffle?
That's not my favorite. You know, where they're like, hey, we're going to put this ball under this thing. Which one? Not my favorite. What's your favorite in-arena entertainment?
Oh, I just now realized what you're talking about when you said the shuffle thing.
Or in-stadium entertainment.
Oh, my favorite, like, graphic they throw on the board?
Yeah, like a little game.
I guess. Isn't that the only one? What are my other options?
I don't know. Like, across all sports, like my favorite, for example, and I've never gotten it wrong. I'd like everyone to know that. Guess the year.
Oh.
If I'm doing a broadcast, I'm not joking. When they pull up a guess the year, if I'm on air, we're all playing. I don't care if someone's like trying to do in-depth analysis next to me. I'm like, I need to guess if this is 2007 or 2008. And I've never been wrong.
I don't think you guys understand how many facts about sports Kendall knows.
It's not even that. It's like, I mean, there was like a time period where I got all of them because like they just kept putting in Star Wars release years. And I know those. My best one was like the year Phantom of the Opera debuted on Broadway. I don't know how I got that, but I got that immediately. And I was immensely proud.
Dylan Stanton up to bat. First pitch is thrown up into the air and caught by the second baseman, Mershon, right behind first base. He called first and right field off of it and was able to get that one. One out on the board now.
Something else to potentially keep an eye out for is that OSU Beidelshees is at about 91 pitches right now. And I would tell you if they have someone warming up, but I can't see. Oh, no, they do. There's a guy back there. That's about also where the sun is setting, so there's glare and looking directly into the sunlight.
Cole Caruso up to bat. First one was a ball down inside. Second one fouled down the third baseline.
Speaking of looking directly into the sunlight, do you ever see that thing? It's like Google Trends of people Googling "my eyes hurt" after the eclipse. It like skyrocketed. People being like, "Why do my eyes hurt?" Did you look directly at the sun?
That pitch is down and inside. 2 balls, 1 strike, and 1 out. Actually, a UPS driver came to my sorority house during the eclipse and had no idea that you weren't supposed to look directly at the sun.
I was on the diag with about 6 to 7 other members of WCBN Sports, and we had 1 pair of eclipse glasses that we were all just passing around being like, here, look, here, look, here, look. Like, everyone got like about 3 seconds.
That pitch was high and in the left-handed batter's box. This next pitch, he swings and misses it completely. And he is hit by the pitch in the shin, possibly. It was full count there, so, you know, I guess he gets first.
83 miles per hour to the leg bone.
Ouch.
Does not sound enjoyable. I know it's like, oh, take it. You know, wear one. Just wear it. Wear it for your team. No, that hurts. Like, ouch.
We have my MVP of the game, Will Rogers, up to bat. And he fouls that one backwards. 1 strike, no balls.
I'm looking at the live chat, and nobody has dropped their favorite Dune character. Come
Entertain
on.
us.
There's 7 of you. One of you has seen Dune, especially if one of you is my dad. You've seen Dune.
And that pitch is a strike.
You've seen both Dunes. Comment. Also, Austin, if you haven't seen Dune 2 yet, you should also see it. Austin Butler is the baldest a human being has ever been. And you can look at the promotional photos, but it's just not going to capture it. You need to see him moving.
That ball was down and inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. And we have Caruso on first from a hit pitch. This is Will Rogers up to bat. And he attempts to pick him off, but Caruso just steps back on the
He kind of
base.
steps over like he's throwing. I think that's the point. Like, if you, next time he tries to pick a guy off, watch, because he kind of like pulls his leg up like he's about to throw a pitch, and then just kind of goes, ooh, and there it is.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is not appropriate. You know
That
what I mean?
one is grounded to the third baseman. He throws it to second base, and he tags Caruso out at second, but Will Rogers makes it to first in time, so we do a little switcheroo there.
Yeah, that throw from the third baseman was a little far right, so he had to come off to collect it. At that point, they kind of lost all hope of turning two, but he was able to come back and get the tag down to at least remove the lead runner.
We have Tim Brook up to bat now. He attempts to pick Will Rogers off, but Will Rogers steps right back on the base. It seems as though these picks are not getting there fast enough to where the Michigan player who is on first doesn't need to slide back or dive back.
Oh! I don't think that broke. I think he just lost it.
Tim Brook swings, and the bat goes flying into the Ohio State dugout. Everybody ducking.
Can I get that back? Yeah, that did not break. It just completely came out of his hands.
He is now, I believe, taping.
Which is a little hilarious.
Oh, no, he's putting, I think that's tar.
That's just a little hilarious, I gotta be honest. Oh, yeah, Michigan doesn't take that big of leads anyway. And then I think because they're trying to maintain, like, the trickery of, like, oh, I'm gonna throw a pitch, you can't really, like, turn around and be like, ah, gotcha, really quick, because then you kind of lose it.
Yeah.
But
so that bat swing and fly, it was a flying bat, puts a strike on the board. And he swings again and completely misses.
But he holds on. And you know what?
But
Little victories.
He held on with one hand, though. So I don't know if that's just his batting technique, but
maybe that's why he keeps losing it.
I mean, that's my personal batting technique.
Grasp it.
Battle, she's attempting to pick off Will Rogers again. Unsuccessful.
Aren't these limited? Is that just in the MLB now? Where like at one point you... Oh, no, that's just like if you pretend to go, I think.
And Will Rogers gets a good hop on it and steals second base. Gravlin behind the plate. Fumbled the ball a little bit. Throws it down, and it does not make it in time.
He thought he could pick up some of that Will Rogers magic, you know? He thought he could throw a runner out.
He thought he could throw Will Rogers out
and
with
Will
the
Rogers
Will Rogers throw.
Because the ball bounced. And it just wasn't. It was a little too slow, like you said. The bobble maybe wasn't the best choice, but good steal by Will Rogers, as he can do both. He's pro stealing when he's on the base, and very firmly against stealing at all other times.
So we have Will Rogers on second. Tim Brook up to bat with 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. He fouls it right above his head.
Once again, guys, I am looking for your favorite Dune character. Mine is Lady Jessica. I know one of you out here. Come on. Probability. Please? If you're my dad and you don't know how to use a YouTube account, just text me.
He fouls it down the first baseline. Still 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Attempting to get a 2-out rally to continue.
We're also nearly 2 hours into this game.
And we are in the bottom of the 6th inning. A little meet-up at the mound here with one of the coaches. I'm wondering which one. Probably the pitching coach.
Yeah, 101 pitches.
Andrew C., maybe. He's also the catching coach. All right, everybody getting back in their positions. Will Rogers given a big lead here. And that was a ball. Honestly, that was an amazing pitch in my opinion. But 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We got full count. Ohio State needing 1 out. And he slings it into the gap over the heads of both the center fielder and the left fielder, bringing Will Rogers in, giving him 2 bases. Tim Brook now at second, doing a little celebration. University of Michigan dugout happy now to have another score on the board. 2 runs for Michigan and none for Ohio State. That one almost went over. Hit in the home run track. Or like the dirt that's
Yeah, not
there.
great positioning by the left and center fielders there for OSU. They had come in. And so that one, I mean, it was hit far, but it wasn't hit that hard. But they just weren't ready, and so it went right over their heads, and they had to chase after it. And that's probably going to be the end of Beidelshe's night. It is. He's walking off.
Yeah, Tim Brook, playing 4 seasons at Kent State, and he scored a career high of 5 RBIs with 2 doubles and 2 runs.
Respectable night for Beidelshe's. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, only 1 earned, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, 109 pitches.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my arm would hurt. They're playing Bad Day, which like feels mean, I think.
They do that a lot. When it starts raining, they start playing songs about rain, like It's Raining Men. And then if somebody gets hit, it's like a song about like it hurting.
Ow.
They like to tailor the songs here to the situation at hand. But we should have, let's see, who
There's
is
a new
that?
guy.
It is Morn.
New dude.
Jacob. Is that Morn or Martin? They said Jacob, but it looks like it says Morn on the board.
That is Jacob Morin, the grad student. Right-hand pitcher, 5'10", 140. That can't be true. 5'10", 140? Okay, you know what? I'm not judging.
Maybe he's just missing.
It's just the guy under him is 5'10", 184. You know what? Never mind. From New Braunfels, Texas. Transfer from Tennessee Tech. 5'10", 140. He doesn't look... No, yeah. Well, he doesn't look that skinny. No, yeah, he does. Never mind. He moved his leg. More in this season. 4-0. No, what did I do? I pressed an arrow. Okay, there we go. 18.2 innings pitched, 14 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned, 5 walks, 23 strikeouts. 2.89 ERA, 102 WHIP.
This is his first season with Ohio State. Previously played Tennessee Tech.
His opposing average, 174 with runners on, 161 with 2 outs. That doesn't mean anything. Baseball statistics have advanced to the point where we kind of say, like, there's no such thing as clutch. But he's pretty good in all situations.
We have Dernetti to bat now with a strike. Looking. And that pitch is also a strike. It was on the inside of that strike zone.
75 miles per hour on that one, but dropped in there, get off speed. For Morin.
Pitch. He thinks about going, but does not. Works out in his favor. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Tim Brook on second after that double that brought Will Rogers in. And the pitch is in the left-handed batter's box, giving Dernetti another ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2s across the board. And here comes the pitch. And it is slung right into the good zone in center field. Tim Brook making it home. Stevenson thinking about throwing him out at home, but does not. He just throws it right back to the shortstop.
Yeah, that one barreled really nicely there for a base hit. Right up the middle, waited, got his pitch going. That's a pretty good hit against a pitcher like Morin, who doesn't tend to give up hits like that in big moments. He's a big strikeout guy. But no, great batting by Dernetti.
Up to bat now we have A.J. Garcia with a strike. That one seems pretty down the middle, and he only looked at it. Dernetti on first after that base hit run there that brought Tim Brook home. And the pitch, and he slings it to the right field.
That one might drop.
It may drop, but the right fielder, Oakley, running in to catch that one and gets there in time to make the third out of the inning, bringing us in to the top of the 7th. Michigan getting 2 on the board that inning, 1 in the second inning, giving them 3, and Ohio State at 0. But with their new pitcher, maybe their bats will wake up a little bit more.
As we all know, you can't have fun on baseball broadcasts. You can only talk about the game going on. Barr's back for the Wolverines, 90 pitches, looking to hopefully get a pretty quick top of the 7th here.
We have someone for Michigan warming up in the bullpen, so maybe they'll either take Barr out this inning or the next.
Yeah, hoping to try and keep him in for as many innings as they can. Like you mentioned, this is the first game of a 3-game set. They'll play OSU Saturday and Sunday.
Trying to think who would be pitching in the bullpen right now.
Again, thank everyone for tuning in to Michigan Student Radio broadcast of this game. This is not the professional broadcast. This is a student broadcast. WCBN Sports. Thank you for everyone tuning in.
Yes, thank you.
Everyone. It
Every
all helps for the
single
algorithm, no matter
one
what
of
you
you.
comment.
Isaac Cadena up to bat now for Ohio State. And the pitch is slung to the right field, fair, down the right field line. He's running to second base and makes it in time. That was a double right there. Pretty good hit. Mitch Voigt having to run out to that one.
Yeah, great hit down the first base line. Real tough play for Voigt. Just, that's right up the foul line. Going to get 2 bases on that one. Not the first batter. Not the way Kurt Barr would have wanted that first batter to go. Like we mentioned, his pitch is getting up there. Wonder if he runs into trouble, if they'll let him stick it out, or if they'll stay in it.
Ryan Miller now up to bat, junior first baseman. And he swings, not even having his eye on the ball there. And that is 1 strike, no balls. And Cadena on second. And he pitches. That one being a ball, outside and down. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Ryan Miller today. 1 walk, 1 strike. Not 1 walk, 1 strikeout.
He hits it to third baseman Cole Caruso. He checks him and throws him out at first, keeping Cadena at second with that check.
Great job by Barr, especially to come over, be there at the third base, just in case there's an error throw or anything like that, just in case the runner goes. Great heads-up play, especially earlier on. And I think maybe the first or second inning we had an issue where no one came over to cover third on a play, and it could have led to a runner advancing. Looks like they've definitely cleaned that up.
Josh Stevenson up to bat now. Calling time for Michigan is probably the head coach. Tracy Smith. Maybe. I could be wrong. I never know. I wish the head coach, or I wish the coaches also had numbers. That way, like, from a distance, you can
Make
tell
it more obvious.
who's going. But they are now retiring Kurt Barr. A round of applause from everyone, including his teammates. He did do a fantastic job. I think the applause is well warranted.
No, I mean, he had a great game. He's blanked the Buckeyes, obviously. 7 hits given up, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts on 95 pitches. Great outing for Barr. Got through, we're at the top of the 7th now. Got through 6, just like Coach talked about, wanting to make sure that his pitchers were getting through. And great start to an early game in a weekend series.
Now we have Jacob Denner pitching for Michigan, warming up here.
Now pitching for Michigan, number 47,
Jacob Denner earned Big Ten Pitcher of the Week after 7.2 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, and 6 strikeouts in a win over Maryland on March 30th. He's second Big Ten Pitcher of the Week award of his career. His dad played tennis at Townsend University for a year.
Notice that a lot of people, just across all sports, I've noticed especially in this baseball game, but even in other things, really, have a lot of athletic families.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my brother plays D3 hockey, and my mom played D1 track.
Nice.
She ran D1 track.
My dad thought about trying to walk on the Mizzou baseball team and then said, no.
I mean, it does, take up a good portion of your college life, I would say. You're going to workouts in the morning, practices probably after workouts, then you have classes, then you go to more practice, maybe even a game later in the day, and then you have to have time for work. So being a D1 athlete and even D3 athlete is definitely time consuming. Up to bat to face our new pitcher, Denner, we have Josh Stevenson, junior center fielder.
Denner this season 4-3, 46 innings pitched, 48 hits, 27 runs, 23 of those earned, 15 walks, 38 strikeouts. He's given up 5 home runs.
This pitch is a strike. We have Cadena on second, Stevenson up to bat with 1 strike, no balls, and 1 out, currently in the bottom of the 7th. Oh, top of the 7th. Just kidding. I lied. And he swings really hard, but no contact is made. 0 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out.
Michigan doing a great job playing small ball right now. They haven't had too many outstanding hits, but they've done a great job of stringing them together when they need to and keeping their opponents, from tying anything together. We've seen some great plays by Will Rogers to throw out some stealing, anybody trying to steal a bag. Just a lot of heads-up stuff, preventing one hit from becoming a problem. And on the flip side, stringing theirs together.
That one was fouled out of the stadium and backwards. This one is fouled out of the stadium and backwards as well. 0 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Cadena on second, Stevenson up to bat. Stevenson with 4 home runs and 19 RBIs of his career, or this season. That one is just outside of the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Very risky one for Stevenson to let go, but worked out in his favor. And the pitch, he half swings, but it doesn't matter. That one was a strike. 1 out put on the board for Denner, but it's 2 outs in the inning because Kurt Barr got an out.
Good start for Denner. Way to come in, set the tone early. not even giving up a hit, just not even letting, the bats fly, letting anything happen out there. Stifling OSU the second he steps into the game.
Trey Lipsy up to bat now. That one is a ball.
And again, I thought that was a pretty good frame by Rogers.
Just a little low. That one in the same spot, a little low. 2 balls, no strikes, and 2 outs. Trey Lipsy with a .248. 5 home runs, 25 RBIs. He swings and makes no contact. 2 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs in the top of the 7th. The sun now setting and the lights coming on.
Things cooling down a bit too. About 57 degrees earlier, I think, but it'll definitely get colder pretty soon. Probably the rest of this game. People here in t-shirts might be in for a rude awakening.
That one grazed the inside of the strike zone, but called a ball. 3 balls, 1 strike. That one is a ball, and he walks and takes first base, leaving us with Lipsy on first, Cadena on second, and Casmore up to bat with 2 outs. Casmore being 1 of 3 today.
Casmar bats .292 with runners on, .212 though with runners in scoring position.
Ooh, Will Rogers attempting to pick Lipsy off at first base, but it almost worked, but he did not.
That was a great heads-up play. It looked like, maybe once. If he had taken another step off the bag, I think he would have had him.
But that pitch was a ball. 1 ball. Oh, that one was a strike. 0 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Cadena on second. Lipsy on first. And that one was fouled backwards. 0 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs now. Denner pitching for Michigan, coming in this inning on behalf of Kurt Barr.
Denner, batters against Denner, bat .286 with runners on, .266 with 2 outs.
That one was low and in the right-hander batter box. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs.
Not the greatest numbers, once again, not the best metric. Hopefully he'll be able to get himself out of this jam.
That one is hit and caught by the shortstop in the middle of this. It was in the dirt right behind second base. So the shortstop ran behind second base and caught it.
Good play by Dernetti. If there had been a bit more on that, it's possible that would have sailed right into center field and probably brought a runner home for OSU. But instead, he was able to time that correctly, get himself positioned, and end out the inning unscathed.
So now we're going to the bottom of the 7th.
7th inning stretch, if you will. I will stretch, actually. Oof, I needed that. My arms are sore.
Jacob Morin.
Because it's root for the Wolverine. Neither of those work. Michigan nor Wolverines don't really fit in that. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Hire us at your next baseball game.
Sorry, we're not taking it seriously enough.
So Ohio State baseball is ranked 5th in the Big Ten. So comparative to Michigan there.
It was tied for 3rd, I believe.
Yes.
With Purdue. At least that was before this game. When I last checked earlier today. Don't know if Purdue is playing or if things have changed.
But Ohio State does have a series win over Purdue. So kind of interesting there.
They're bringing in a new pitcher. This is Brown for OSU. Give me a second.
Zach Brown.
That guy has a band. This is Zach Brown, the freshman, right-handed, 6'5", that's tall, from Santa Ana, California, Villa Park High School. Wearing number 37. Zach Brown this season, 3-0, 29 innings pitched, 34 hits, 15 runs, 14 walks, 13 strikeouts.
Crazy.
Been here for about 2 hours. Beautiful game. Sun is setting now, no longer directly in my eyeballs, and I do appreciate that.
But it definitely is a little cooler now.
Yeah, that's why I put on my quarter zip before I put the headset on. Thinking.
Up to bat, we now have Mitch Voigt, second in the lineup for Michigan. He is 0-3 today with a 306 batting average. And here comes the pitch. That one is a strike as Mitch swings but makes no contact. 0-1. The next pitch is also a strike. In the bottom of the strike zone, Mitch looked at it, making the count 0-2. That one is in the left-handed batter's box, giving Mitch his first ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he swings at that one. It's deflected off but caught by Gravlin behind the plate, giving OSU their first out of the inning. Up to bat now we have Hrustich. Steven, will you? He's 1-1 today. That one is a ball outside and down. He swings at that one, but is deflected off the catcher's shin guard.
Hrustich today, 2 walks and a single.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody on.
And like you mentioned, it has gotten a lot colder really quickly.
That one is a ball outside and down. And that one, surprisingly so, is not a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out.
Bit low, bit on the inside corner.
That one is a strike. Hrustich not thinking so and about to walk to first, but goes back to grab the bat that he just threw. And
Always the worst when you toss it and then you have to go get it back.
yeah, no, I'm waiting until the ump says something before I do that. I would not want to be embarrassed. That one, he swings and does not make contact, putting us with 2 outs in this inning. We have a pinch hitter here, Colin Priest, number 26, pinching for our designated hitter, Joe Longo. I believe... No, I don't know what I was about to say.
It happens. Priest, 266.
He grounds it to second base, and he is thrown out at first, moving us along into the top of the 8th. Michigan 3, Ohio State 0.
Didn't even get a chance to say what I wanted to say.
Yeah, you just moved too fast.
Dang.
I mean, if you want to say it now, you can.
No, because it was like his batting stats. So it's kind of like not important anymore.
I I think what you say matters.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Everybody getting up and moving around, maybe going home. This is what happened.
It's cold.
Another one of the games that got really cold and everybody went home because they did not bring the proper clothes.
We're in the press box, but there's an open window next to us, and it has gotten drastically colder.
Yeah.
Like within the past 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And we still got 2 full innings of baseball. Well, maybe 2, maybe 1.5. 1.5, because Michigan's going to wrap this up. There's a softball game going on across the way. I can see. Those are red uniforms. Maybe Indiana?
Maybe. I always
I'll go
really
check.
like the setup over here. You have the baseball
very unique.
stadium and the whole crowd and the press box can see the softball
I think it's Nebraska,
stadium
actually.
in
is
the
Nebraska.
center field.
Nebraska currently leading 2-1 over the Michigan softball team in the bottom of the 4th. I'm going to go click into that game live stats, and we can give you an update on that. If you want to go listen to more student broadcasters, you can. Michigan currently, though, with bases loaded. And 1 out, I think.
Daniel Olson and Jack Schmader on that call.
2 dudes.
2 dudes.
I don't mean that like 2 men. I mean like 2, dudes. Like, good guys.
Good guys.
Yeah, bases loaded for Michigan softball.
First pitch is thrown by... Well, my train of thought just lost. By Denner to Gravlin. And that one was a ball. This next pitch is fouled into the parking lot. Hopefully not my car.
That hit something. I think I heard that.
Oh, God.
And they've been playing like crash sound effects.
They do. They think it's funny.
But I think that one, like, I actually heard hit something. Maybe. Maybe it's another sound effect. Maybe they're trying to trick me up.
This pitch is thrown into the left-hander batter box, making it 2 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch is fouled backwards. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. At the top of the 8th.
About 2 hours and 15 minutes into this one. Started at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
That pitch is grounded to first base. He runs and touches first, giving Michigan their first out of the 8th inning.
Yeah, that one was hit pretty hard, but good play by Stanton. Get a glove on it. Get the first out of the inning. Wolverines only need 5 more of those. Math.
Up to bat, we have Tyler Pederoni. That pitch is in the right-hander batter box. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. That one is fouled backwards over the stadium.
I think that one hit a roof, maybe.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1's across the board.
Terrible.
That one also is fouled over the stadium. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one is down and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pederoni flied out to left field in the first inning. Singled to the pitcher. And he just hit this one to the left fielder. Harusich making a run and catch to make it 2 outs of this inning. Denner taking a deep breath there. Happy that Harusich sprinted
Yeah,
to catch that ball.
showing off the wheels on that one. Great play. Could have been an extra base hit if he hadn't gotten there in time, but real heads up. He was moving even before probably that thing came off the bat.
Yeah, Mitchell Oakley up to bat now. This pitch is a strike, beautifully framed by Will Rogers. And the pitch is fouled, backing out over the stadium. Wonder if somebody's over there just collecting all the balls that are going.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of those. Wonder how many baseballs they got lying around.
So that leaves us with 2 strikes. This one not being the third one. A lot of people disagreeing with that call. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. This pitch is grounded to the shortstop and thrown out at first. Shortstop playing directly behind second base.
Yeah, Dernetti was all the way over there.
As if they
Positioned him.
knew.
Positioned him perfectly to field that ball. And that's the end of the top of the 8th. I get to switch the arrows now.
Yay.
Boom.
We're going to the bottom of the 8th now. We have
Maybe
Brown
Magic.
on the mound.
Gotta go double check. Oh, I can see movement going on over there in the Michigan game, but I can't tell what exactly is happening. I'm gonna go check our lovely
Michigan's on the
staff
offense.
broadcast. Yeah, last time I checked, they had bases loaded with 1 out, I think.
Oh, yes, I can see that.
Still bases loaded. I still think that's 1 out. Not really sure because this is kind of confusing, but fielder's choice. I think there's 2 outs now. This thing's just not updated.
Yes, I'm
At
watching
2
the girl
outs.
walk to the dugout.
That was a fielder's choice out at home is what's happening over in Michigan softball, in case anyone is curious. Wanted to get an update on that. You can go listen to that once you're done here, obviously. Oh, 2. There's a walk. That game's tied up now. 2-2.
Now moving on into the bottom of the 8th. We have Stanton up to bat. He's 1-3 today with a 256. Singled to center field in the second. Lined out to second base in the third and popped up to second base in the 6th. And the first pitch is a ball down and outside. This pitch hits him very hard on the outside of his leg. He's running to first, but I could see from the look on his face that did not feel good.
Looks like OSU might be challenging that. They are. You're going to say that did not hit him? I don't know.
They're probably going to say that he stepped into it.
Yeah. Tapping the top of their glove.
Good.
But that might just be to say, hey, let's review that one.
Oh, he's saying he's pointing, to his glove.
Yeah. They
Thinking-
might be saying that, like, it didn't hit him because it hit his glove. I'm not really sure.
I don't know. That looked like it definitely hit him. He definitely reacted.
Yeah, it looked.
His body got flung to the other side.
It was a very
Around.
very awkward movement, but it did look like it hit him. So I'm not exactly sure what they're looking for
They're
here.
replaying it on the board here. That looked.
I can't see.
I can't see that either. They
That's
need to
not
zoom
close.
into
That's
that
not
one.
close up enough for me to be able to decipher what's going on.
Kind of still looked like it hit him, but we will see.
But what do we know? We're just up here.
Yeah, we're just college students.
We're just
On a
college
student
students
radio.
On a student radio station.
College sports.
Getting experience.
This is amazing. This is a cool opportunity. And we couldn't do it without you guys.
Beat Ohio, indeed. The victors. I agree. Let's see if they can pull it out. They only need 3 more outs. Well, they need to finish batting first. Maybe add on a couple more runs for insurance, but after that, they only need 3 more outs. Then it won't be fair because I did more play-by-play than Sydney did.
Wow. Wow.
Polling rank, seniority. I'm old. I might never get to do
How
this
old are
again.
you?
I'm so old. I'm 21 years old. Ancient.
I'm almost 21
When's your birthday?
this summer.
What month?
August. Beginning of August.
Gotcha. I'm September.
Okay, so you're almost 22. Well, okay, not almost.
Not okay. I just had my half birthday. Thank you. Last month.
My half birthday's passed.
It was so was mine because it was last month. But I don't need to be reminded. 21 is a year. I don't know.
So since it's almost our birthdays, wish us happy
Yeah.
birthdays.
We're so close. Actually, wish Owen Crane a happy birthday. Our one of
Fearless
our
leaders.
station managers, sports director, not station manager. One of our sports directors. It is his birthday today. He's 21 years old. He almost didn't get into a bar in Minnesota after the Frozen Four because they couldn't decide if they wanted to ID us or not. But then we're like, can we just eat? Like, because they had food. So we're like, can we just eat food here? And then they were like, okay, yeah, you can eat food here. And then he got in fine. So everyone wished Owen Crane happy birthday. Now he can get in and eat food without any worries if he's ever back at Zamboni's in St. Paul.
We have Cole Caruso now to bat. They called Stanton safe at first because they said it hit him. So Cole Caruso now to bat. Stanton making a huge lead on first. He tries to pick him off, and he did not make it, but he almost did. Cole Caruso, 0-2 today, 250. They try to pick him off again, this time not as close.
These pickoffs feel more serious. The pickoff attempts from Bidolshi's just like, you know, they felt a little more trickery based.
Cole bunts it down the first baseline, attempting to outrun that throw, but he's out.
He almost
He almost did. That was a great attempt by Cole Caruso, but did exactly what he needed to do, move Stanton over to second.
Yeah, not the best approach there from Brown. Took a few too many steps, took a bit too long, and there was a chance that Caruso could have beat that one out. But it does what he meant to, and he advances the runner.
Will Rogers now up to bat. Will's 1-3 today. Junior catcher. And the pitch is deflected backwards by Will Rogers. 0 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Stanton on second. This pitch is line drive to the greens, or the good zone, right in front of center field.
No run scores, though. Good heads-up play by Josh Stevenson. He came in on that real quick. They definitely, thought about sending Stanton there, but he scrambled back to the bag pretty quick. Hard to tell, but I do think he would have been out if they had sent him. So good call by third base coach to keep him, to hold him up there at third.
Yeah, now we have Will Rogers on first with that great hit. Stanton on third. And Tim Brook up to bat. Tim Brook with a double and 1 RBI in the 6th inning as his last up to bat. We've got a first to third here. 1 out. That one is low. 1 ball. No strikes. And that one is hit to the third base. He makes the decision to throw it home for a tag. And he makes the tag. I'm not sure why Stanton was sent. Oh, they're
Good coordination between third and catcher for OSU, but it looks like Michigan's going to challenge.
discussing right now. Yeah, that was a little confusing. If the ball was hit to third base for Stanton to attempt to run home, the third baseman decided to throw it home, and Gravelin making that tag. Because there was nobody on second, there was no need for Stanton to go home.
Yeah, so no force outs. Doesn't matter that he was on the bag. Just going to have to see if he was able to avoid the tag. Did a little bit of a swim move there. I thought, that Gravelin was able to get the tag down. But we'll see what the refs see. We'll see how the challenge turns out.
Looks like Michigan coach believes that he slid underneath that tag. Brown doing some warm-up throws here. We have Will Rogers talking to the middle infield, or I guess both of the middle infielders and Putteroni on second base. Always fun that even though you have this intense rivalry, you can still
Get a nice chat in.
get a little chat in. The umpires looking and reviewing the play over by the Ohio State dugout.
Been here for about 2.5 hours so far. This game started at 6.
Looks like they're done reviewing. Didn't
So-
take too long compared to the other reviews.
And
And he's out.
a lot of boos, which I don't think there weren't on the initial play, but everyone wants a challenge to go their way. Even if from up here, definitely looked like he got that.
Yeah,
Gravelin got the tag down.
I think he was definitely out. I don't think it was the best idea to send him when it was hit down the third baseline, but that pitch to Kyle Dernetti was fouled down the third baseline, making the count 0-1 with 2 outs. We have Tim Brook on first and Will Rogers on second, allowing for a force out at 3. This pitch was beautifully framed by Gravelin into the strike zone. 0 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Dernetti looking at that one. That pitch was in the left-handed batter's box. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one again in the left-handed batter's box. 2s across the board, my favorite saying.
A lot of noise coming over there from the softball stadium. Wonder what that was about. We can go check after this game's over. Just rewind a little bit.
This pitch is grounded in between third base and shortstop to the left fielder. Will Rogers running home, making it. Tim Brook only moving over to second base, and Dernetti to first. That one being pretty close to the third baseman, but he was more going to allow the left fielder to get that one.
Some really good small ball by the Wolverines. So they've been in it all game. They've been playing really tight this whole time. They haven't gotten sloppy just because, you're up 3 and it's the bottom of the 8th. I mean, they've been very consistent.
Like I said, base hits will win you the game. That's all you need. You don't really need a home run to win the game. And that's what Michigan's doing here. I mean, Ohio State with 0, their bats unable to completely wake up for them. And Michigan now with 4. AJ Garcia up for Michigan, the center fielder and freshman. The one we mentioned before, having talked to Josh Fegley about him and how he's probably going to be a staple for Michigan in years to come as a freshman.
Yeah, filling in for injuries. It said they're trying to fill that spot. Garcia's the one that fell into it and felt the most natural, picked it up the quickest out in center, and now he's their starting center fielder.
Garcia golf swings that one, but makes no contact. 0 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. This pitch is very inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. He tries to pick Timbrook off at second. He banged Brown. Didn't make it happen, but I don't think Timbrook was really expecting that one.
Maybe not the best decision considering how many errant throws or times people have had to hop off the bag in this one.
That one is lined down the first. Wait, that one is grounded down the first baseline. First baseman Miller attempting to field that one, but it going straight through him to the right field, giving everybody an advancement for 1 base. Timbrook now on third, Dernetti on second, Garcia now making first, and up to bat we have Mitch Voigt, one of the star hitters on the team. I mean, he's a star all around as a utility player, so not ideal to have such a fantastic hitter up to bat with bases loaded. There's a meeting on the mound with Gravlin and Brown, and one of the coaches, cannot tell who.
I've been informed that across the way, our softball crew has been making a variety of corn-based puns as they're playing the Cornhuskers. I think it's a little too late to fit in any nuts jokes, as that is what Brutus the Buckeye is.
I guess this
mind
game
out
is
the
a
gutter.
little nuts.
We didn't think about it, okay? It's the bottom of the 8th. We'll inform the guys for tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow there'll be more jokes. But it just doesn't flow as well as corn jokes.
I mean, corn jokes are just a little corny.
Boo! A lot of noise here in the crowd, hoping Voigt can come up big with bases loaded.
And he fouls that one down the third baseline. The first one was a ball, so that gives us 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, bases loaded for Michigan. And Mitch Voigt up to bat. He almost takes off Timbrook's head with that one, but it is fouled down the third baseline.
That was a hard hit ball. Timbrook was in danger. Luckily, he dropped down before he could concuss his teammate.
Michigan fans in the dugout definitely making some noise now to get Mitch riled up to hit maybe a grand slam. That one is a ball in the left-handed batter box. 2s across the board. We got 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Garcia on first, Dernetti on second, Timbrook on third, and Mitch Voigt up to bat. This pitch is yanked to the left field, but not fair. He definitely has the power and the energy behind it. He just needs to straighten it out, and he's got a grand slam on his hands.
I think baseball fields are a place where every single person just experiences a mass delusion of no depth perception.
He attempts to swing for that one, but they are able to make him chase that outside ball, and that's 3 outs. I mean, great at bat for Mitch Voigt. I would not hold my head down. I mean, he had a great opportunity there with bases loaded, but that was not a bad at bat.
Wolverines just need 3 more outs to get their second real Friday win and to win the first game of important Big Ten series, something they haven't been doing in recent games. They've had a spectacular all-around game, piecing hits together on offense. Fantastic performance from Kurt Barr, not having to go too deep in the bullpen. Denner stepping up in relief. Hopefully he can finish out this game. They'll stick with only using 2 pitchers, knock on wood, in this one, if things go their way. Which is exactly what we talked about with Coach in the interview. wanting to win the dogfight, not letting them burn them up. And I think the Wolverines have done just that.
We're in the top of the 9th now. Denner on the mound, like you said. He's done a fantastic job being a relief pitcher for Kurt Barr. Both top 20 in the Big Ten ERA pitching stats. I believe Denner is 13th, and Barr being 4th. Two fantastic pitchers Michigan has here. Mershon now up to bat for Ohio State. In the second inning, Mershon reached on a throwing error by second base. In the 4th, he was hit by a pitch. And in the 6th, he flied out to center field. And the pitch is thrown. I don't know where that one went, but apparently it is a ball. Maybe it was high, and that gives us 1 ball, no strikes. That one framed again pretty nicely, but
Probably high.
probably high. I'm assuming these are just a little bit too high in from the strike zone.
Really tighten it up in the 9th, which I think is kind of dumb.
Same spot right there. 3 balls, no strikes.
Just keep a consistent zone the whole game, and then you don't have to tighten it up.
For Joseph Mershon. That one being a strike, pretty down the middle. 3-1.
Denner operating with the bottom half of OSU's lineup.
That one is fouled down the first baseline out of the stadium.
And it dribbles all the way into the parking lot. Somebody's going to have a surprise waiting under their car later.
All of the kids upset they couldn't get that one right over their heads.
You could if you just go crawl under a stranger's vehicle.
That one is hit really hard down in between the middle infielders, but second base was able to field that one.
Yeah, that was a great pick by Mac Timbrook.
And throw him out at first.
It was hit hard. Turn around, got backhand on his glove on it. Very calm, cool, and collected from him. Great play. Could have been an easy base hit. Luckily, give him the first out of the inning.
Isaac Cadena up to bat now with a ball on that one. Too high. 1 ball. And here's the next pitch. That one being a strike, pretty down the middle again. 1-1. One's across the board because there is also 1 out. That one also being a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes now for Isaiah Cadena. That one he swings and misses. 2 outs for Michigan in the top of the 9th. 1 more to go to finish off the game.
Being down in the 9th always leads to those big desperation swings that you were not proud of when you look back at the tape the next day. That was arguably probably one of them for Cadena.
That was the 2nd strikeout for Jacob Denner of the game. We have a pinch hitter for Miller, Giamarusty. That one's inside.
Real inside. I thought that hit him for a second.
Me too. 1 ball, no strikes.
Giamarusty this season hitting .312, batting .467 with 2 outs. I mean, this is the best guy the Buckeyes could throw out there in this situation.
Well, he just had 1 strike and another ball, another inside one. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Jim Marusti batting great, but OSU in this game 0 for 7 with 2 outs.
Another inside pitch by Denner, but called a ball again. I'm assuming they probably know that Jim Marusti does not like inside pitches. That one pretty down the middle, and they're going to give it to him. Full count with 2 outs. Everybody getting loud. Jamarusi has a slugging percentage of .625 and is ranked top 10 in the Big Ten. And that one is out. He looks at it as it goes by. Michigan dugout emptying onto the field right now with excitement. Very happy about this second Friday win for them.
I mean, and like we mentioned, a little bit earlier, it was a great all-around game. The Wolverines really pulled it together in all of the aspects of the field that they wanted to. They were able to string hits together against Beitelshees for OSU. Didn't have to worry about, big home runs or those, insane hits. I mean, they string singles together, good base running, great defense on the flip side. They had a few errors early on, but they really cleaned up after to make those big plays, and then a fantastic outing from Kurt Barr.
Yeah, I definitely agree. OSU just unable to make something happen. I mean, 0-4 was the final score, and they had some guys on base, but ultimately unable to make something happen at the moments that they needed it to happen. Michigan State kind of had the same issue, but were able to still somehow eke out a couple of runs, despite that having guys on base and leaving them on base. I'm interested to see the stats of that later. But definitely really good pitching staff for Michigan with Denner as a relief pitcher and Kurt Barr starting us off. OSU having some great players. It's just sometimes, games just don't go your way, and I think that's what happened here for them. They're probably going to come back tomorrow with a even hotter fire, and Michigan is definitely going to have to deal with that. So make sure you tune in for that one. We'll definitely be covering all of these weekends' games for baseball. Should be a good one.
Yeah, they'll be back here at 2 p.m. tomorrow with 2 more untrained college student broadcasters.
But we're good. We're great, and we hope you enjoy. Again, thank you so much for listening in. We couldn't do things like this without you guys. Share to your friends, subscribe, everything that you can do. It helps a lot. This is a lot of our passions. It's just something we do in our free time. So we appreciate anybody who decides to stop in and listen. So any final remarks, Kendall?
Just a great game by the Wolverines. I think everything Coach mentioned in the interview, they nailed. And I don't know. I had fun broadcasting this with you. I had a fun coffee chat.
Of 3
hours. And, yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see if they can carry this momentum into tomorrow.
Well, thank you, guys. I'm Sydney again, and this is Kendall, and go Blue, and we hope to see you next time. Bye.